What if I told you motivation is a trap? It's nothing that you need. There's something else that you need far more, and which is far more important. And I thought in today's video, let's talk about this incredibly important topic, motivation. Everybody talks about it and everyone tells you need to be motivated and you need to stay motivated and all that stuff. But actually, to be honest, hardly anyone can achieve this. It's pretty simple if we have a closer look at it and understand it. And then we also understand that there's something else that is far more important and relevant when it comes to reaching our goals and achieving our goals and being successful in life. Okay, so let's have a closer look at this topic, motivation, and why I tell you motivation is a trap. It's pretty simple. Motivation is something unstable and it's not reliable. When you, for example, come across something that fascinates you, that inspires you, and you're on fire, then you start with it. For example, with sports, or maybe a music instrument, or maybe it's something you start learning a language, or you start with a new course. So there are so many things that you might be interested in, and then you start out of motivation. But the thing is, over time, you'll discover that there are some gaps in between, and you're gonna have days where you don't feel motivated and you'd rather say, today it's not the day, I think I'm gonna skip my training, I'm gonna skip my lessons that I should take, I think I won't learn any of my vocabulary today because I simply don't feel like it. And that's exactly the problem with motivation, because it has a lot to do, it's all about emotions. And we can't expect that we feel motivated the same way every day and that we are on fire every day. This is an illusion. This is not realistic. And that's why I say motivation is a trap, because the more you rely on it, the more inconsistent you're gonna be in whatever you do in your life. And at some point, this is going to have maybe a pretty negative impact on you, because you tell yourself, or maybe other people, they talk about you and you say, this guy or this lady, she's never motivated, or she's not consistent. She doesn't have enough fire, she doesn't have enough motivation and all that stuff. And it has nothing to do with that. So it's not about not being motivated, it's about something else. So here comes the reason why I believe that motivation is a trap. It's pretty simple. You rely on your motivation, you rely on your emotions. But as we know, emotions are not consistent. So you maybe only train when you feel like it. You train when it's convenient. You train when you're happy. You train when you're excited. But to get this straight, life doesn't reward emotional consistency. It rewards behavioral consistency. So if your actions simply depend on emotions, and when you feel good, then your results in the long run will also simply be average. You will never be able to overcome the difficult moments, and you will never become, let's say, extraordinary in whatever you do. And that's exactly where I see the trap with motivation. So why is it actually that you or I, that we sometimes maybe feel unmotivated and we'd rather stay at home on the sofa instead of going to the training session or in taking part in our course or doing our homework? This has various reasons, or this can have various reasons. It could be you're overstimulated, you're overwhelmed, you don't know where to start. Maybe you're simply exhausted from taking decisions. And the thing is, your brain, it tends to resist chaos. It wants clarity and it wants to have it easy. And that's why you might feel unmotivated, but actually it's something completely different. It's similar with procrastination. If you procrastinate, it's not that you're lazy, it's probably that you don't exactly know what to do, where to start, or who to ask. And then it gives you that feeling that you're more or less stuck. And it's similar with motivation. So there's a strong bond also between, let's say, being unmotivated and procrastination. Simply said, there's a cognitive overload. So your brain has an overload and it's simply too much for your whole system So let's have a closer look at successful people, for example, in sports, in business, or in economy. What do they do differently, and how do they handle motivation? The thing is, probably they are not more motivated than you or me, but the difference is they don't rely on motivation. They understand that motivation is not the core issue, it's more something like structure. So what they rely on is they set structures and they have a plan, they have a clear vision, they have goals, and that's more important to them because they know exactly when they look on Monday, for example, what's the plan for the coming week. Then they know exactly what they need to do on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Friday, and on Sunday. And they don't care about how motivated they actually are because they don't rely on it. They accept it that motivation is something that's more, it's changing all the time. And one day they feel super motivated and the next day they feel not motivated at all. But they know on my schedule I have this and that's what makes the difference. So they stick to the plan. And that's what makes the difference in the long run and what makes them more successful than other people. Because the ones that depend on motivation, they probably gonna quit at some point simply because they have the feeling, probably this is not the right thing for me, or I'm not good enough, or I don't have the power to go through this dip. And that's exactly the difference between people that are partly successful in life or not successful in life and others that are extremely successful. The ones that are extremely successful, they simply remove this emotional negotiation. There's nothing to negotiate. It's scheduled, it's planned, it's part of the plan, it's part of becoming or reaching whatever they are looking for or what they want to achieve, and then they do it, and that's it. So, and here come 4 quick tips for you how you can actually approach this from now on so that you don't have to rely on motivation, but you focus more on the right structure, because this is the key for you in achieving your goals. So number 1 is shrink the target. Shrink the target to a size that it's smaller than your resistance. Number 2 is lock in the time in what you want to do. If you have a training session at 7 a.m., then it's not about, when I feel like it, or when the weather is okay, or when I'm motivated. No, it's locked in. 7 a.m., that's training time, and that's it, and you go for it. Number 3, no negotiations about what you have on your plan. If you said it once, you do it daily, you repeat it, and that's it. And point number 4, very, very important from my point of view, and also my work with my clients here, do some success controlling. So track your success, track your habits, your good habits, track your schedule at the end of the week or at the end of the month. Have I fulfilled my plan? Have I done everything that I wanted to do? And I'd say if you do 80% and more of your plan, very good, you're on very good track. If you do less than 80%, let's say between 50, 60 and 80%, okay, that's, let's say, average, to be improved. So then ask yourself, okay, what's missing maybe? What else could help me actually? Do I need to optimize my plan? And if you have accomplished less than 50% of your plan, your schedule, then I would highly recommend have a closer look at what you are doing. Is this really the right thing for me? Do I have enough heart? Do I have enough energy? Is this the right way for me, or would I rather do something else actually? So let's summarize this. It's not that you want to be a motivated person. It's that you want to be a reliable person. And the more structure you have, the more reliable you're going to be. So it's about being reliable to yourself, reliable towards others, reliable to your goals, reliable under pressure. Motivation creates spikes, structure creates progress. And progress again creates confidence. So stop chasing the emotions, instead go for the structure, go for the consistency. That's the moment where you're gonna stabilize your life and where you're gonna achieve your goals from now on. In case you find this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. After shoot, my client just arrived. So see you soon. Bye.